Hey guys, this is Mike from BTech Reviews here, and today's the unboxing and first impressions of the Moto G7. Alright guys, welcome back to my channel and finally another review unit. Okay, so I decided to get the Motorola G7. It's been out for about a month and a half, 2 months already, and I got a pretty good deal on it. I think this is the international version, so it's actually a little cheaper than the one that's $299 right now, which is the regular one. Not 100% sure what the key differences are. This one obviously is I got the white version of the phone, and definitely let's go ahead and just read out some of the specs on the box here. As you guys can see here, you got a 12 megapixel rear shooter plus a 5 megapixel camera, so it's got dual lenses obviously. It says it has a Pantalia 6.2 FHD plus max vision display, which is pretty good. Again, it's got a Qualcomm Snapdragon 632, and Motorola. It has 64 gigs of ROM and about 4 gigs of RAM. So definitely a hyped phone, and this is going to be one of the Moto phones that I've had over the years. I've had several of them. I think the only Moto phones that I haven't reviewed are the G4 and the G5, which is ones that I just never picked up, unfortunately. But again, I'll go ahead and post the Amazon link for you guys down below, so if you guys are interested in a phone like this, you guys can check it out. But here is the actual box. I just got it in literally just like 15-20 minutes ago, so I'm going to go ahead and do the unboxing. Had to break the seal there, as you guys can see there, so beautiful, beautiful. Okay, so let's take a look. This is the actual device. Here it is. 6.2-inch screen, so this is probably the biggest Motorola phone that I've had, and that's because, again, there's different variants of this phone. Obviously there's the G7 Play and then the G7 Power, so different versions of the phone. The Play version is going to be a little cheaper, and of course the Power version is probably going to be around the same price. I'm not 100% sure the difference. I think it's just a different battery, or maybe perhaps larger battery. Again, it's just reiterating the specs here. It's got a 3000 milliamp battery, and it's got turbo charging as well. So we'll go ahead and talk about that later on in the review. Well, let's go ahead and start this up while I go ahead and see what's going down. So let that start up. I'll go ahead and peel off the screen protector in a bit. Let's go see ahead what else is inside the box here. So obviously you have your typical Motorola G7 pamphlet, right? It's just going to tell you what it is. SIM card removal tool, which is pretty much the norm. Oh, you can hear the phone starting. It says, "Hello, Moto." Again, another more information about the phone. What I'm going to be looking for, obviously, is the quick charging cable, which is right here. A USB Type-C, obviously, and of course the quick charging brick, which is right here. So I don't really need the wire. I already have several of those. Might pull it out a little later just in case. But as you can see here, guys, this phone actually already comes with a case, so I think that's pretty interesting. Let me go ahead and get all this stuff back inside the box. I've noticed that there's kind of a trend now where phones are basically starting to come out with, they're starting to come with cases, so that's pretty interesting. I'm going to go ahead and turn that off really quick, and I'm going to go ahead and start peeling this off. So as you can see here, I'm going to go ahead and peel it off. I kind of like these screens because you can just kind of put them back on, and I'm going to just kind of lay it there on top of the box for now, put the box aside. So very, very sleek looking phone right side out of the box. I'm actually going to take it out of its case just because I don't want to, at least I'm hoping I can take it out of its case. I feel like it's a clear plastic case. Yeah, so I noticed a lot of phone manufacturers are doing this now, which is pretty interesting. Again, it doesn't cost that much to basically invest in a cheap plastic case like this, so for those users who are worried about dropping it, obviously this case is just more of like a silicone case. It's not gonna protect the phone fully, mostly because it's got a glass back. So definitely all the way around, this phone is really nice and pretty. You guys can see there the dual lenses on the camera look great. Again, you have your fingerprint sensor finally on the back. So if you guys saw my video last year on the Moto G6, you guys know that I kind of complained a little bit about that the actual fingerprint sensor was down here. So I'm kind of happy for the fact that Motorola decided to put it finally in the back of the phone, because a lot of their other phones have already been doing it, right? Like the Moto Z, etc. like that. But I'm still kind of not a fan of the branding of this, at least. The Motorola logo, let's see if I can zoom, or let's see if I can get that to focus. Maybe, maybe not. If not, that's all right. My phone's kind of going out of, or my camera's going out of focus. That's all right. So again, I'm not a fan of it branding itself Motorola on the bottom, but that's okay. I guess that's just Moto's style of doing that. Let's see again if I can get that to focus. If not, then that's okay. My lens here is wonky, so. All right, so that's gonna fill. That's all right. Again, I'm using a DSLR to shoot this video, guys. But again, if you can see here, it does have that fingerprint sensor in the back, which again, I'll get that set up a little later. Doesn't feel like it has one of those push type style, you know, I guess fingerprint readers, obviously. It's gonna have USB Type-C on the bottom all the way around, so very, very solidly built phone though. So for the retail price, I actually paid around $269, not including taxes. Does have a headphone jack, so for those of you who are wondering, I'm not 100% sure if this phone is water resistant right now. I'll go ahead and go over that in the review once I get to that. Nothing on this side, it's just kind of got a silver trim all the way around. Of course, you have your SIM card reader on the top. Let's continue working around. You have your power buttons right there, and of course your volume rockers, which again, basically kind of like an aluminum finish. The actual power button is it's textured, so you can actually feel it. Again, there you go. So you can actually feel it, like it's got kind of like a little bit of a grip there. And then all the way around, it just feels like a pretty solidly built phone. I don't know what to say. And again, if you guys if you look at the screen here, like look at that. Like you can see here that the camera or the earpiece sensor is actually right on the very top. So let me turn this off so you guys can kind of see if we can get a better look. But as you can see there, the earpiece is kind of wedged all the way at the top. So I think that's kind of different that Motorola decides to do something like that, because you know, I'm just not a fan of notches. If you look at their Moto G7 Play, it does have kind of like the iPhone notch where it kind of just goes from here to here. I'm just not a fan of it. So I'm just surprised that Motorola isn't just trying to do something like this with all of their smartphones. But again, obviously price ranging and build quality is going to be different for every single little phone. So let me go ahead and get this set up, and then we'll get back to the actual first impressions here, guys. So again, guys, I already got the phone set up, and just, you know, right out of the gate, I can tell you that the phone itself looks very nice on the screen. Right now I have the brightness actually set up about halfway, so if you guys can't really tell, but yeah, actually, you know, the screen or the display on this looks very nice. I'm not 100% sure on the aspect ratio on this just yet. Not sure if it's a 4K screen, but it's definitely at least a full HD screen. So very, very nice looking screen right out of the gate. And again, should be running Android Pie right out of the box. So let's go ahead and check that out while this. Oh, hello. Okay. Let's go ahead and find the settings here, and then let's go ahead and see what system this is running. Again, I just set up my email, etc. like that. So we're gonna just find out whether this is running Android Pie or not. Let's find out. Let's see. System updated to Android 9. So okay, here we go. About the G7. Okay. So let's scroll all the way down. Usually that's where they have the build version, Android 9. Yep, if you guys can see here. Android 9.0. I don't know if there's any security patches. It says security patch level December 1st, 2018. So it's got that version. Again, you know, I'm not a huge I'm not trying to speculate, but I mean right now whoa, this thing keeps going off. So right now I'm just not speculating whether, you know, there's a lot of huge difference between Android 9.0 and Android 8.1. So a lot of people are very, like, I guess, savvy when it comes to having the latest and greatest version of Android, which to me doesn't really make that big of a difference as long as the apps are continuing to update and as long as the phone itself gets security patch updates. So as long as the software and apps are running, you guys should be fine, and you don't have to always have the latest version of Android. For this specific device though, obviously you're going to get the latest one, and Motorola is pretty good about updating its phones to the next version of Android whenever they come out. So definitely interested to see what happens there. Again, this phone is updating, guys, but for the most part, you know, I'm not seeing any bit of stutteriness, considering the fact that this is actually downloading updates in the background. It's saying please finish setting up your device, and system update is available, so I will do that after the end of this video. But for the most part, again, I'm just getting emails saying that I logged into my Google account here. It's updating apps like Google Sheets, Google whatever, YouTube, etc. like that. So we're gonna see all of these and whatever else come out when I decide to actually put the review video together. That'll probably be within the next week or so. I'm gonna just do a series of tests, obviously. So definitely, I wanna test out this camera that's in the back. Obviously, you know, Moto cameras. I haven't had good experiences with Moto cameras in the past, so I'm definitely going to try to put this to the test. I'm going to go out and do a shoot somewhere where they have you know, nice lighting or something, etc., where I can just go and get good scenery and just shoot some footage for you, whether it be in 4K or 1080p. Also, the front-facing camera, we're definitely going to take advantage of that. And again, as you guys can see there, it does have that wake to raise here. So I mean, and when you lay the phone down, it'll go off, but when you raise it, it should just light up like that. Obviously, it's going to have the clock widget that'll tell you this little blue line signifies your battery life. So again, I already got the fingerprint set up. So let's see how fast the fingerprint sets up really quick. Okay, so I got them both on both fingers, so both index fingers ready. 1, 2, pretty quick. I'm not gonna lie. So let's see, does it turn it off though? No. Okay, so again, Motorola has been known to have features like gesture features also, which I will test out in all of the different. So one of them was the chop. So if you just do a chop, it'll turn on the light, right? Let's do that and let's turn it off. If you do a little twist, it'll turn on the camera app automatically. But as you can see there, it did not turn on the app as quickly as I would have liked it to. It's not as snappy as you want it to be. But let's try that again. So again, and this is just a few Motorola. It's kind of like their gimmick to put little gestures. I remember one. Let's go home, right? Let's put my fingerprint sensor on. I remember one where it's like, I don't know if that was Samsung, but you put your hand over the actual phone and it just it moves whatever you're reading, I guess, etc. like that. But for the most part, guys, you know, it's a very nice phone, very solid. It feels like a very solidly built phone. Again, I can't really give you too many impressions as far as the sound goes, just because it has only one speaker grill on the bottom, which is very interesting. You know, you think that, you know, a lot of these mid-range devices would have at least done a little better job when it comes to the sound. And just hearing the little text tones right now that I was getting, it didn't sound 100% great in my opinion. That's just me. But again, you know, take it with a grain of salt. You know, this is supposed to be a mid-range device, but for the most part, you know, Motorola has been doing a great job with their Moto G devices. You know, all of them that I have owned up to this point, and again, this is the 7th generation version. I remember reviewing the 1st generation version about that, and you know what? I might go ahead and link you guys up on that just so you guys can check that video out from, like, I don't know how many years ago. I think it was already 5 years ago when the first Moto G came out. But again, for the most part, you know, they have done a great job in keeping the price point low on these phones. I mean, the most expensive Moto phone, again, to my knowledge, is this phone, which is retailing it right now at $299. But even when the Moto G6 was out last year, I mean, it was retailing for, I believe, $249, $279 when it debuted. So, you know, again, Motorola's been doing a great job as far as keeping the price point low. I feel like this version, or the Motorola is basically like the new version of the Nexus, minus it being branded Nexus, and I really feel that Google should have kept the Motorola name to them, or should have just kept Motorola as a company in general, because they could have done so much with the Nexus line or the Pixel line, whatever you want to call it, guys. But again, guys, this is just a first impression video, and you know, hopefully we can get a couple good videos going for you within the next couple of days. I'll try to test out the camera again. We'll do a camera video and just let you guys know how the camera's working. Overall use of the phone, I'm going to try to pop in one of my SIM cards in here and maybe do a live stream in an outer area, like where I'm just like out in the middle of wherever. But again, guys, this is Mike from BTech Reviews, and this is your first impressions video of the Moto G7. If you guys like this video, go ahead and just give it a thumbs up. Always like my videos, that always helps us. And as always, please subscribe. We'll see you guys next time.